guys, welcome back to the Takeover. I'm your host Matt Johnson, and today I wanted to do a episode about technology. In specifically, I want to talk about e-commerce platforms, and even more specific, how to choose an e-commerce platform if you are an industrial distributor. If you are a traditional B2B industrial distributor, how do we sort through all of the myriad of options that you have out there today? You know, there's this common belief, I think, or this common thought process that maybe this isn't even that big of a topic. It's, after all, it's not the tool, you know, as they say, it's how you use it. And I guess what I'm going to argue is that that's not exactly true. You know, I'm a golfer. I played competitive golf. I still try to play competitive golf when I can. But ask any golfer, any musician, any photographer, any artist, and they'll tell you equipment does indeed matter. You can have the best training that money can buy. You can have a ferocious work ethic and really master your craft. Or maybe you just have unreal God-given talent that you just wake up and it just happens. Maybe you're great with relationships and it just everything comes really easily to you. But I can tell you that in some of the most competitive environments known to man, the tools that we use are often what give us the edge that we need to win the game, whatever the game is that we're playing. If we're playing sports, or if we're recording an album, or if we're building an e-commerce website and we're trying to grow online sales, the tool does in fact matter. Speaking of golf, who can forget, just as a way of an analogy, remember the woes that Rory McIlroy had, back in 2016, a few years ago, when he had switched to Nike clubs. I remember watching that. I remember watching him play, and I was just like, what happened? What did you do? You gave up, you got some money for your endorsement deal, but you're giving up the big money that comes with the winning associated with playing well. And his game just went to trash, really. And but thankfully for him, Nike exited the equipment business, and he later switched to TaylorMade. And you'll notice right around 2017 into 2018, his game came back, and the statistics have spoke for themselves ever since. So the tools do matter, and even he himself said how excited he was to start playing the TaylorMades that guys like Dustin Johnson were playing, and so this was just another case in point. You can be unbelievably talented, but the tools that you use play a big role in your success ultimately. So if you're listening to this, your chances are you're probably going to fall into one of three different categories. Maybe you have an e-commerce website and it's doing pretty well, but ultimately that it should increasingly do better. That online sales is a channel of the business that has to increase over the next few years. And so even though you're doing well, you'd like to learn how to do better. What kind of platform maybe or technology switch can I make to get to the next level? Maybe you have a website currently, and frankly you're disappointed with the results. Maybe there's been a very bad, there's been a lack of adoption, and it just doesn't seem like the tool that you have is working for your customers. They're just not using it. It's just not getting the job done in terms of your expectations. Or maybe you just don't even have an e-commerce website currently. Maybe you have some sort of WordPress site or brochure style website, and it needs to be updated, and you need to start offering an e-commerce solution for your customers. If any one of those three scenarios, I think this is a great conversation to have, because remember, you're not married to your e-commerce software. You can make a change at any point. Just like Rory McIlroy decided to switch up his irons, to go back to TaylorMade, you can make a switch, and you can, maybe that's what's going to propel you to make a big change in your online business. So let's jump in and let's talk about basically the three types of e-commerce platforms that are available for industrial distributors. So the first one that we're going to talk about is probably the most common, and that is what I'm going to call open source e-commerce. So open source e-commerce is an open source is actually the word defining e-commerce in this scenario. So open source meaning that the software code itself, the backbone of the application is made available. Okay, it's open. It's available to any developer to use it as they see fit. So what this means is that these developers can design any number of plugins or add-ons, or they can customize it, they can modify it to fit their needs. So here's just a few that you may be familiar with already. Magento is an open source e-commerce solution. Okay, BigCommerce is an open source e-commerce solution. Shopify, WordPress, WooCommerce. Okay, WooCommerce is actually, it's technically a plugin for WordPress. So WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Magento, these are some of the biggest names in the game. WooCommerce being probably the biggest, Magento second, and then BigCommerce probably much further down the list. However, these brands are very popular for a reason. So let's talk about some of the advantages of some of these platforms. First of all, there is something to be said about having a network, a large network of developers and designers who understand the code. These are people who you can hire, oftentimes fairly inexpensive, depending on what you're getting, although we'll get to that in a second, because you are going to get what you pay for. But there are plenty of them out there, okay? There's lots of developers. There's lots of developers onshore here in the United States and offshore. There's probably local developers who can help you design and develop and launch an e-commerce store using one of these open source solutions. So that's one of the cool things, right? Like everybody knows these platforms. Everybody knows the code language that they're built on, and so they're readily available. People that can help you are readily available. The other advantage is that they have this really large and almost ridiculously growing library of plugins. So, and pretty much all these developers, if they have any salt to them at all, if they get good, they're ultimately going to try to do something. This is a big money-making scheme. That's not really a scheme. It's a business model, I guess, if you're one of these developers who specialize in, say, Shopify or Magento. You're ultimately going to try to solve a problem for your customer. And when you figure out how to solve that problem via some customization to the platform, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a plugin that you can host in the store. Maybe it's free to start, but maybe then you have to upgrade to unlock certain capabilities. But ultimately, your goal is to get that recurring revenue from your plugin. So there are so many plugins. Okay, and then that's also the downside. The great benefit of the platform, like so many things in life, right? I mean, oftentimes the strength is the weakness. In this case, I think it definitely is so. There's so many plugins, it's hard to know which ones to choose. But they do have a pretty good store where you can go in there and leave ratings and reviews, and you can sort through those and pretty much figure out which ones you want to go with. But basically, what this means is that for an industrial distributor, okay, so let's remember to tie this back to you guys. As an industrial distributor, I'm just knocking the desk and the mic all over the place, but you guys have a very specific set of business needs. And so what you're going to have to do is do a lot of customization to a very vanilla, a very plain, very simplified white backdrop version of an open source platform. So you're going to get something very simple out of the box. Maybe you use a pre-developed theme or a design to get you started, but inevitably you're going to have to do a lot of customization. You're going to need a big engine to run this store, because you're going to need a lot of products, a lot of product pages, which is going to decrease your load time. So you're going to need a lot of bandwidth, a lot of storage space. You're going to need, like I said, the B2B solution is going to have to be more customized for your customers, and that's going to require some extensive development. And so here's my little word of warning when it comes to the open source platforms. They can be fantastic. In fact, some of the best performing websites I've ever seen have been built on open source, like a Magento. I've seen a couple of Magento stores that were just absolutely killing it. Magento 2, we'll maybe do another episode someday about Magento. But Magento is really great because there's so many customizations you can make to it, and you can really tailor it to your business needs. But the downside is that it can be extremely expensive and time consuming, okay? Not only to build it, but to maintain it. So just to give you an idea, because I know you're probably thinking, well, how much is expensive to you, Matt? So here's what I would say is expensive. We've quoted out jobs with Magento websites in the past. So if a client came to us, for example, and said, Matt, I want to do e-commerce, but just not sold on your solution. I really want to go about building a custom Magento site. We hadn't turned them down in the past. We've actually taken on those types of projects, and so we've built them. And so these are projects that are running six figures to start. So you're talking $100,000 of development, okay? And that development can span between 9 and sometimes, depending on the size of the catalog and the amount of data that has to be formatted. Now, this could take from anywhere from 9 to 18 months in length. So that's time, that's money, but it doesn't end there, guys, because you're going to need a full, robust hosting solution as well. And that can run you another, let's say, $50,000 to $75,000 a year, depending on the scope and size of your website. So as an industrial distributor, this could be the money solution for you. This could be the great solution if you find that you have enough sales to see the ROI of that scale of an operation. This could work for you absolutely. Frankly, I haven't seen very many industrial distributors who had the sales to account for the cost of implementation. So let's talk about another type of e-commerce platform, that is a bolt-on solution. Now, bolt-on, when I say bolt-on, what I'm referring to is an e-commerce solution that's offered by a software provider. In other words, this is not a company that specializes in e-commerce. This is a company that does other software, and they're bolting on or offering an additional e-commerce solution. As you can imagine, out of the gate, it's not the best, well thought out idea. So the problem with this, right, is, I'll just start with the problem. I'll go negative first on this one. The problem is that most of these bolt-on platforms are not designed by marketing thinking people. They're not designed by the ninjas in the marketing team. They're designed by the nerds in the development team or the data team. Okay, so they speak data language, so they're really good at connecting data endpoints and making sure that information passes seamlessly between systems. Where they lack is the ability to customize, the ability to control, the ability to design and develop and manage content. Okay, all of this becomes very, very cumbersome on some of these bolt-on platforms. Okay, and oftentimes, I think I've seen one solution that I thought was okay, and that was Epicor has the new e-commerce bolt-on, which is it's just actually based on Magento, but even that has a lot of problems, at least from a usability standpoint. But it looks okay. But most of these look so bad, I really can't even recommend them as a viable option. They look so bad and they're so bulky. It's kind of like driving like a 1984 Pinto to go pick up your customer. I mean, if you can imagine driving the 84 Pinto to your customer and dropping off a package, that's kind of like what it is to have a bolt-on e-commerce solution. It's not pretty. It's connected. The data is connected, so your customer can see like real-time inventory levels. Customer can see pricing all managed in one spot. Of course, that's convenient for you if you're managing the site. But this is really not, most of the time, not the best option. Although it is very popular, and I can understand how this happens, right? I mean, nothing makes more sense to you that you spend a lot of money on an ERP software solution. You spend a lot of money on the implementation. All of your data, which was the biggest headache, all your product data is there. All of your part numbers, all of your customers, all of your pricing are there. And then they say, well, by the way, we have an e-commerce solution that we can literally just flick a button and your customers will be able to log in and access their order history, access their pricing, their products. That's very attractive. I get it. But it's like the fast food of e-commerce. It looks good. It's easy to access, but it's not good for you. Okay, so it's not a good solution. So let's talk about the third one, and we'll wrap up with this one, guys. And you guessed it, it's SpinStack e-commerce. Okay, I'm just joking, but I am going to use this as an example. And if you find another specialty platform that works like SpinStack, then I would say then that's a good option as well. The reason why I like a specialty or a customized e-commerce solution for an industrial distributor is because our world, your world, the world I live in, the world you live in, our customers, our business model, the amount of products that we have, managing pricing, managing customer experience with, so many vendors. This is a major headache for most industrial distributors. I think the big guys are not exempt from this, by the way. Okay, I've seen big national distributors who have a very rudimentary, broken down e-commerce solution for their customers. So it's not just the little guys that struggle with this. It's all of the world of industrial distribution. Why? The question, I guess, is why do we struggle with e-commerce? There's a couple of reasons, but it's for the very reasons that I'm going to say are the reasons why SpinStack e-commerce is a great solution. First of all, they struggle because of data. Managing product data, managing vendor content is a major headache. I mean, on average, I'm seeing anywhere between 5 and 25,000 SKUs just to start with in terms of building, what I would call a base level e-commerce catalog. Now, managing that amount of data, organizing it in a way that is user friendly, something that your customer can actually find the product that they're looking for in a simple way, loading that product data, making sure that it's cleaned up, accurate, discontinuing items, and removing discontinued items, adding new products on a regular basis. These are things that most small to medium industrial distributors just struggle with. Okay, they just don't have the manpower. They don't have a team of data people sitting in a room managing their e-commerce catalog. Okay, so that's part of it, right? The other part is that a lot of the B2B functionality that we need, so we need to be able to create unlimited number of customer catalogs. We need to be able to offer unique pricing for different customers. Sometimes every customer, maybe that's not the best strategy, but it is what it is. A lot of times our customers get absolute customization. They get a unique custom catalog. They get a unique custom pricing. We need to be able to do that quickly and easily. We need to be able to have a B2B functionality with a lot of the B2C look and feel. Okay, so we need the heavy duty F350 with the dualies, but we need it to look like a Denali version, right? Like we need some of those really nice advantages, like in multiple images for the products and their SKUs. We need to be able to add additional marketing information from our vendors and manage all of that in one content management system. So a lot of these things are very important for industrial distributors, more important so than say an average retailer who may have 50, 100, 200 SKUs. So it's a different ball game. Okay, so we need a different technology stack. We need a different solution. And that's why SpendStack, I think, is a great solution, and it's used by 98% of small, medium-sized industrial distributors. Or let me just clarify that statement. 98% of our clients who use it are small to medium-sized industrial distributors. The platform, and this is probably the greatest advantage, the platform is unique in that, let's say that you had WordPress, right? Or we'll call it WordPress WooCommerce. Let's say you had a WooCommerce website, and what if that website came with 500 blog articles about your customer base ready to go from day one? You would say that'd be amazing. So in a similar way, SpendStack eCommerce comes with a integrated product database. So our platform has a shared product library of up-to-date content from more than 2,000 manufacturers. And this is equating for over 650,000 SKUs. Okay? We don't do the pricing for you, but we handle all of the product content. So we've taken the hardest, most difficult part of building an e-commerce website for an industrial distributor, and we've taken that completely off of your plate, and it's in our hands. And what we do is we primarily create personalized catalogs. Okay, so each and every website that we build is 100% personalized to the products that you sell. So this is really great because your customers are going to be able to see the products that they buy from you on a regular basis. And when they log into the website, they can see only the products they buy optionally. They can browse in a huge collection, lots of cross-sell opportunities, and they can get the exact pricing that only you are offering them. This is why it's oftentimes the most popular solution for small to medium-sized safety and industrial distributors. So for many, it offers the best return on investment, particularly for suppliers under $20, $50 million in revenue. You may wonder how much it costs. So I'll give you a range. We have clients that are in all kinds of different stages. We have clients that are doing 7 and 8 figures through the website annually, and we have clients that are they're working out of their garage. They are a startup entrepreneur, and they've just begun. So there's 0 sales, 7, 8 figures in sales, and everything in between. Okay, so we offer solutions for all of those scenarios. So we start at our base package, which is $275 a month, all the way up to a $1,500 a month package. And this includes a fully hosted e-commerce website. So we take care of the hosting for you. We take care of maintaining your website, maintaining your catalog, and maintaining the product data that you use in your catalog. And then all kinds of various like marketing packages and solutions that can be added onto that, which gets you up to those higher levels. What we've decided to do is we could not find a B2B e-commerce solution that had all of the marketing bells and whistles that we wanted. So what we did was, instead of trying to bake all of that in to SpendStack e-commerce, a la the bolt-on solution, which is never a good idea, we decided to partner with WordPress. So you get the best of both worlds with SpendStack. You get a marketing-centric WordPress website, which is built on a pre-developed theme, which you can customize and manage easily. You can write blog articles for local SEO. You can rank for any number of specific key terms that you're trying to rank for using the WordPress platform, which is absolutely optimized for search. And then on the other hand, you'll have the SpinStack store, which is optimized for industrial distribution. Okay, so you have the ability to create multiple catalogs, unlimited number of catalogs for your customers. Each one of your customer logins can be 100% unique with custom product information, custom pricing, even custom design, so that they can have a truly unique experience. And so all of this to say that there certainly are some good options out there, and I have actually, on many occasions actually, I've told people that I don't think that our solution was the right solution for them, because maybe they wanted something more customized, or maybe they wanted something a little bigger, or maybe they wanted more control. Maybe they didn't want somebody to manage the product data for them, and manage a shared product library. Maybe they wanted it to be completely unique. In those scenarios, I have pointed them, in a couple of scenarios, I've pointed them to a WooCommerce solution, to a Magento solution, to a BigCommerce solution. The point is that, like golf clubs, kind of tying back to what we started with, like golf clubs, every distributor is going to be a little bit unique. And it's up to you to go out there and try and figure out which ones are the right solutions for you. So if you are in this state right now where you're thinking, I need something better, I need something more customized to me, I need something like that's a better fit for me and my customers, because I know I need to build this online channel, and I know that this tool is going to really be a big component to help me get there. So if you are interested in learning more, then I would encourage you to go do two things. Number one, visit industrialmarketing101.com. Industrialmarketing101.com is our e-learning hub. Okay, so that is where you can go in there and you can get access to a fantastic resource, 10 video series all about how to build, launch, and grow an industrial distribution website. So it's going to be everything that we know, everything that we've learned over 10, 15 years of working with industrial distributors, all compacted into a very short, accessible course. So I want to encourage you to go look at that. That's a great resource for you. The second thing that you can do is, if you want, you can actually schedule a consultation with us. And what we'll do is, like a good golf club seller, we will actually have you come in and take a few swings. So we'll set up a demo for you, and we'd be happy to show you around SpinStack eCommerce and show you why it's the chosen e-commerce solution for over 50 distributors, accounting for over $250,000 in sales annually. So we would love to show you more. Did I say $250,000? $250 million in sales annually. And so we'd love to show you more about what SpinStack e-commerce is compared to some other ones that maybe you've seen. By the way, I also recommend you go look at those as well. Be a good business owner, be a good decision maker for your business, and go look at what those resources are out there. But I hope that this episode at least helps you frame up which options are available to you. Remember, open source can be extremely effective. It's going to be expensive. Bolt-on is extremely convenient. It's going to be also expensive, not quite as expensive as a bolt-on, but it's going to be very convenient and less personalized. And then finally, specialty platform is going to be your most personalized option. And if it's with SpinStack, it's also going to be your most affordable. So I encourage you guys to go take a look at those options, and I hope that those are helpful for you.